Something feels off. The way people talk about making money online, the way success is presented, the way everything feels compressed. You see the result, but never the years behind it. You see the outcome, but never the cost. And after a while, you start to question it. Not how it works, but whether what you're seeing is even real. Because if it were as simple as it looks, if it were as repeatable as it sounds, it wouldn't feel this rare, and it wouldn't feel this uncertain. Everything feels accessible now. Anyone can start, anyone can post, anyone can participate, and that creates a specific illusion that access equals opportunity. But access is infinite, and opportunity is not. What's available to everyone is rarely achieved by everyone, and that gap between those two things is where most people get lost. It's been 7 days. I posted my first video on April 20th, and since then, 4,000 views, 6 subscribers, and about 21 hours of watch time. Numbers that look like progress, but don't actually mean anything yet, because numbers without context create the illusion of movement without confirming direction. This could be the beginning of something, or it could be the peak. And right now, there's no way to tell the difference. No one is watching. That's the part no one prepares you for. The beginning isn't difficult because it's complicated. It's difficult because it's empty. You're speaking, but there's no response. You're improving, and there's no recognition. And your mind starts looking for proof, some signal that you're moving in the right direction. But there isn't one, and most people don't fail here. They just stop because they can't tolerate the silence. Minimalist theory isn't about having less. It's about removing what isn't essential, not just your environment, but in your thinking, your time, your attention, the noise, the distractions, the invisible systems that quietly decide how your life is spent. And once those things are removed, something uncomfortable happens. You're left with yourself, your thoughts, your perspective, your ideas, and the question becomes, is that enough to build something real? The question isn't whether you can make money on YouTube. That's surface level. The real question is deeper. Can you build a life around your own ideas? Can your thoughts, your perspective, your way of seeing the world build something that sustains you? Not just financially, but psychologically. Because most people don't work for money. They work inside systems that dictate their time, their energy, their attention, and over time, they stop questioning it. Every system makes a trade. Stability in exchange for control, income in exchange for time, certainty in exchange for autonomy. Most people accept that trade, not because they chose it, but because it was presented as the only option. And over time, they stop seeing it as a trade at all, just reality. But it isn't. It's just the most common agreement. Ownership has a cost. Not financial, not at the beginning, psychological. There's no structure, there's no guarantees, there's no immediate feedback. Progress doesn't announce itself, and without that feedback, your mind starts creating doubt, not because you're doing something wrong, but because you're operating without proof. And most people don't fail because they lack ability. They fail because they leave before anything has time to become real. Something begins to shift, not in your results, but in your awareness. You stop chasing outcomes and start noticing patterns. What holds attention, what feels true, what actually connects, you get quieter internally, more precise, more intentional. And for the first time, you're not reacting to the system, you're starting to understand it. It isn't fast, it isn't clean, it isn't predictable. It's a byproduct of clarity, consistency, and time. And most people never reach that point, not because it's not impossible, but because they try to force an outcome instead of building something that earns one. This isn't a money experiment. Money is just the visible layer. The real question sits underneath it. Can a person remove enough noise to hear their own thoughts clearly, and then build something from them, something that eventually supports their life instead of consuming it? I don't know if this is going to work, but that's the point. Certainty would make this predictable, and predictable things don't reveal anything new. This only works if it's real. If it fails, you'll see it. If it works, you'll see that too. If you're watching this, you're probably asking the same question, not just about YouTube, but about your own life, and about whether there's another way to exist. One that feels more aligned, one that feels more intentional, one that is more yours. And instead of guessing, we'll just find out.